Hello and welcome to the Mookadoo moment for tips and tricks for your Frontpage app. Today the tips that I'm going to be going through are putting a front page carousel on your Mookadoo site and also adding an extra button to your menu to enter the site or to go to browse. So as a resource for this screen flow, I'm going to be using a Gist account that I have set up for Coda, and the links to the resources that I'm going to be referencing. So one is the front page carousel resource, and the second is an extra button on the front page app. The links to both of these gists are going to be in the description of this video. So let's quickly go over adding a front page carousel. I'm going to go to this gist, and here we have the sample markup for adding this gist. So some of the items in this gist are, we have a divider for each slide, and then within this divider we have a link which tells the pane where to go, so a link for each slide, and we also have an image for each slide. Another option is to have a caption for each slide. So if you'd like to add a little bit of text to the slide, if you don't already have text on the slide, you can add it in the divider for the class carousel caption. Alright, before we go on, I'm going to talk about what resources we need. So we definitely need to know where our links are going, and we also need to have a set of images that are the same dimensions and recommended the same points per inch as one another. I like to use the file path of sites, default files, media, and then you'll just insert the file name. And then the best color space for showing up in Mookadoo, this is just generally for around the site, is the sRGB color space if you're using an Adobe software to export. Alright, so let's take this code and copy that, and we're going to be creating a slider in this mock Premiere site. This is our dev version of the Premiere site, and I'm just going to create this slider and the browse button on this page. So in another tab I have the front page settings for this dev Premiere site, and in our first section we have an anchor for the carousel, and I'm going to add the markup here. So we'll paste this, and then I'm going to expand this box so I can see it a little better. Okay, so we have a comment at the top preparing whoever's reading the code for the fact that there's a carousel here. We have a divider for the entire carousel that says the ID is whatever you'd like to call it. So this carousel ID is fine if you want to keep it there, but I'm going to call this front page demo. And don't use spaces. If you want a space, use an underscore. Okay, I'm going to put that there, and then also I'm going to copy that ID and put it all the way down here in the controls, because the controls reference the ID for the carousel. So we'll see this is the left-hand control. It's telling it to put in this carousel, so we need to put the ID there. So hashtag and then whatever you've replaced up here. And then the second one, this carousel ID, and replace that right there. While it's not necessary to change the carousel ID, I like to do so. Okay, and then we have a div class for the inside of the carousel. So this includes all of the slides. The next div is the active carousel item. So the first slide of your carousel is going to go between this and this div ID. Within that, we have our first link. If you're linking to anywhere within the Frontpage app, you're going to put the hashtag and then whatever your HTML anchor is. So for instance, if I was linking to the next section, which is the About section, I would take this HTML anchor for the section and link it after a hashtag in this first slide. And actually, I'm going to do that instead. So our first slide is going to go to the About section. The next thing we want to do is add an image. So image SRC, that means image source. And you want to tell the machine where to look for this image. Now, to have images to reference, you also need to have them uploaded to your Mookidoo site. So I'm going to take a break from this setting up the Frontpage app and open a new panel where I'm going to upload the image. So from within your site, we're going to upload some media. I do that by going to the dashboard and clicking Add Media. And from this box, you can add media files. As you recall, we want the dimensions to be the same. So as you can see, this is 2048 by 718. My second slide is the same dimension, and my third slide is the same dimension. Another thing you also want to do is make sure that your slide names don't have any spaces in them. That's just good practice. Okay, so I have all of my front page slides selected, and I'm going to add the files and start the upload. Okay, now we will submit these slides, and here we have the slide names, and I'm going to keep this page up for reference. So let's go back to the front page settings. So the image SRC is going to be the place within the file directory that the slides exist. Let's go back to my gist, and you see I have used the URL with a extension. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to put it there. So I'm telling the site to go to Sites, Default Files, Media. That's where our media lives. And then I'm going to put the file name after that. So for our first slide, the file name is frontpage demo slide1.jpg. I'll copy that and paste it right here. So we've created a link. We've added a place for the site to go to look up the file. And at the end of this, you always want to put the SRC between two quotation marks. And that's all you need for your slide. Now, there is an option to add a caption to your slide. So that's what we're seeing here. There is another div for the carousel caption. And within that divider, you want to put any text that you'd like to add to your caption within the paragraph tags. So we see we have an opening paragraph tag and a closing paragraph tag. Personally, I don't like to have the divider for the carousel caption just as an aesthetic in my site. So I'm going to take that out. And since I took out that div tag, I'm also going to take out the second div tag. But I do want to make sure that I keep the closing tag for the link. So by putting the link tags before and after the image, I'm making sure that that entire image is clickable as a link. And then finally we have an end div tag. So that's closing the section for this specific slide. Now the next div tag opens the second slide. And I'm going to quickly do the second slide for you here so that you can see me doing it again. So your main focus will be on adding the media to the site and putting the file name at the end of this string of directory locations. And also making sure you're linking that slider to a section either on the front page or within the site. So we have an opening link and a closing link around the image source. All right, now let's go to the bottom and save this configuration. I'm going to go back to the files and save the files. Now we'll refresh this page. And voila, we have our slider on our site. If I click within the slider, it's going to either go to the About section on the page, or my other slider items are going to go to Browse. Okay, so that completes how to create a front page carousel. And the next thing that we're going to do is create a button on this front page so that people can go to within the site. So let me go back to my gist, and you can find the link for the extra button on the front page app below this video. And so within this gist, I have to create an extra button on the front page app. Step 1 is you're going to go to your configuration page for the front page app and visit the last section on your page before the footer. So let's go to the front page settings, and I'm going to go to the final section on this page. And the final section is this support section with the heart hands. Okay, now that we're here, let's go to step 2. Step 2 is insert a link in that description, in the description of that section. And you're going to format the link to look similar to the other buttons. See below. So from below, I'm going to take this piece of code and copy it. And we are within the final section on the page and the description. And at the end of that description, I'm going to paste this gist. So as you can see, we have a general link HTML, so a href equals browse. So this is telling the link where to go. In this case, it's going to the browse page. And then the strong tag just makes sure that this section of text looks like a normal button. So within caps, I'm going to just put title. Okay, and then if you want a description of your link, put it between these two paragraph tags. So browse the site. Okay. Now again, we want to save the configuration. Anytime you make a change to the front page app, save those changes. Then you can go to the front page app, refresh. All right, and now you see we have a title for this button. And we can click on that title to go to the browse page. Thanks for listening.